Welcome to our media partners, and just a heads up for housekeeping, we will have several speakers this morning. If you need any follow-up on spellings of names, I will be your person after the press conference, and I will close up our press conference at the end and then open up for individual interviews. So if you have a specific person on one of our teams that you'd like to have an interview with one-on-one, please find me and I will get that set up for you after the press conference. With that, I don't want to hold us up anymore, and I'm going to introduce our superintendent, Bob Nelson.
Good morning. Thank you all for joining us this morning as we make some announcements with our labor partners from the Fresno Teachers Association. So we are incredibly pleased to announce that Fresno Unified and the Fresno Teachers Association have reached a tentative agreement that we will be signing this morning right here in front of historic Royce Hall at Fresno High. This tentative agreement provides a wide array of benefits to our teachers and continues to maintain a fiscally strong budget for the district, and most importantly, provides direct supports to our students. I won't get into the specific details as I'm sure my colleagues behind me will have time to speak, but everyone will be able to read that tentative agreement in its entirety. It'll be on the website by this afternoon, so you can see that there. The primary benefit of this agreement is that we're able to avoid a work stoppage. There's a good reason that there hasn't been a strike in Fresno for the last 45 years. It's because strikes are really hard on a community, quite frankly. And clearly this process has not been easy. We know that people have had to make personal decisions that led up to a potential strike, but at this point we've made a collective commitment to move forward in support of teachers, staff, family members, and students alike. One advantage that we have collectively is that we've all made a comprehensive commitment as adults that we're going to spend our entire lives in the service of children. And in that spirit, it's my hope that we'll respectfully continue to move forward. First, I just need to offer a little bit of gratitude. I need to thank everyone from our Board of Education trustees. In attendance, our President Genoveva Islas, Trustee, go ahead, yeah, you can applaud, that's fine. Trustee Andy Levine from here in the Fresno region. Trustee Valerie Davis from the Sunnyside region. Trustee Susan Wittrup from the Bullard region. Who am I missing? Trustee Claudia Casares from the Hoover region. And we're very thankful to have Jackie Cruz here and for behalf of Trustee Keisha Thomas in the Edison region currently. So I miss Trustee Jonathan Rosas as well from the Roosevelt region. Thank you, Board, for trusting us to do this work on your behalf. Without this board, we never could have made this amazing deal happen. This work could not have been done without the bargaining team from our side and from the Fresno Teachers Association. I thank every staff member that came to the table or even in support of the table through this process, but specific thanks are to be given to David Chavez, that's our Chief Human Relations and Chief Negotiator. My good friend, our Deputy Superintendent, Misty Herr, without whom this deal could have not been worked. Chief Financial Officer, Patrick Jensen. Our Assistant Superintendent of Labor Negotiations, Ms. Anna Rita Howell. You saw earlier our Chief Communications Officer, Nikki Henry. Our Chief Academic Officer, Natasha Baker. And our attorneys from Atkinson, Anderson, Loya, Rudd, and Romo. That's Peter Shafford and Nicole Tucker. Thanks to them. We also owe a debt of gratitude to the bargaining team from the Fresno Teachers Association. Most particularly President Manuel Bonilla, Executive Director Louis Jamerson, Bargaining Chair Mr. Taylor Vitsium, and Assistant Executive Director Felipe Grimaldo. So thanks to them. Additionally, there were third-party supporters who helped us communicate, to rebuild trust, and to ultimately reach an agreement that built a path forward of collaboration and unity. I think we all owe a debt of gratitude. They've been through this with 2 cycles now. Local peacemakers, Larry Dunn and Linda Hoff. They've been with us since October. They were with us in 2017. They've been with us since October trying to reach the finish line. Same with Don Raska, John Gray, Mitch Olson, and June Payoyo, experienced mediators and fact-finders who helped us cut through the noise and get to important points of compromise. Just a shout out to our incredible principals, instructional superintendents, HR superintendents. You've walked the calm walk. You're the backbone of our district, and we're appreciative for your efforts. Last and certainly not least, thanks to our students and their families. Yeah, it's been a tough start to the school year. This is a tough way to begin. Our students have been the innocent bystanders waiting through the difficulties of negotiations, carrying that stress. You need to know that this deal is really about you. It's our joint commitment to avoid a strike because there's really nothing more important than making sure our students have the opportunity to be in school every day, all the time. So with that, I'll stop talking and I'll pass the mic over and podium to our Fresno Teachers Association President, Mr. Manuel Bonilla, for his remarks.
Good morning. 18 months ago, FTA kicked off this contract negotiations with a call to our members and to the Fresno Unified families to help us reimagine education in Fresno. The community stepped up, our members stepped up. They answered that call by helping co-design a number of classroom-centered ideas. Now, over the course of the negotiations, we put across a number of ideas across the table in the hopes of sparking dialogue, change, and action with our partners in administration and the partners on the Board of Trustees. At the core of this negotiation were four major priorities: reducing class size for our students, reducing special education caseloads, keeping our teachers, educators, school nurses, and trades professionals competitive in their pay, and ensuring continued and stable health coverage. Today, we've reached a historic agreement. And those things are not only met, they have been exceeded. You're going to learn the details later today, but I could say that it includes across-the-board class size reductions. That's right. Investments in new classroom spaces so we could further those reductions. Investments in creating elementary music spaces for our arts. Comprehensive special education caseload guidelines, an actionable plan to get a nurse at every school site, multi-million-dollar investments in our students' social and emotional supports, and a system, a structure, a change in attitude in regards to how we value our educators in their time, expertise, and a competitive salary package to match. Soon a child will walk into their classroom and have the closest connection ever with their teacher rather than competing for attention and for assistance. Our teachers return to the classroom tomorrow rather than standing on a picket line knowing that we are charting a different course together. Because as educators and as a community, we've made it clear that when students thrive when educators thrive. And educators thrive when leaders value their hard work, when they value that tireless dedication, are committed to providing adequate support. Now, it has been a tough road. Change isn't easy. It requires discourse, disagreement, debate, and sometimes dissension. And change doesn't happen overnight. But today we've laid a groundwork for a transformation to improve the lives of over 70,000 students in our community. If we want this district to achieve its greatest potential, then we must continue to build on that foundation. I, too, would like to thank a few people. First, our community, our educators, the hardworking members of our association, that's the teachers, the school nurses, social workers, and trades professionals for standing up, standing arm in arm for what you believe in. Ultimately, you were the reason why we were able to push forward and have an agreement today. From the start of this process of getting your voice heard in the design to 3,500 people rallying at the Fresno Fairgrounds Paul Theater, to our festive day of action, you stood up, you used your collective voice, and that collective voice is going to change the trajectory of this community. Second, thank you to our executive board. You see behind me, they have provided a tremendous amount of leadership as educators in the classroom, having to balance their classroom duties along with their leadership duties in this process has just been absolutely amazing, and a lot of sacrifice to their family time. And of course, our bargaining chair, Mr. Taylor Vistam, thank you very much. Thank you to our FTA staff, many of them here in the audience. You spent months tirelessly working alongside our members to navigate the uncertainty of our negotiations, led by our executive director. Thank you, Mr. Lewis Jamerson, for building our negotiations team, guiding us from the initial concept to tentative agreement. Your passion for this community is inspiring. It's an honor to call you a colleague and a friend, so thank you. And as Superintendent Nelson mentioned, a special thank you to Dr. Linda Hoff, Dr. Larry Dunn, for their dedication to this process and to the community. Once again, they have helped create what they call a third space, a space in which difficult conversations can happen and we could move forward together. Thank you to Superintendent Nelson and his team. We remain committed to working together collaboratively in order to build on this foundation. A special thanks to Deputy Superintendent Misty Herr over the past few days, leaning in together and really finding a path forward. Thank you for that. And to the Board of Trustees, while the work of negotiating this agreement is over, the hard work of building a stronger Fresno begins. The community is looking to your leadership, and we look forward to partnering with you. We look forward to building a better Fresno Unified. Thank you. Now I'll introduce our Executive Director, Mr. Lewis Jamerson.
So good morning. I was told 9.5 years ago that this moment would not exist here in Fresno. Someone said to me, we're never going to get back to 100% health care for educators and others in Fresno Unified. We're there this morning. Someone said, we're never going to get back to lifetime benefits here in Fresno for all the 10,000 employees in this system. We're back there this morning. Someone also said to me 9.5 years ago that teachers really aren't committed to the kids in this system. And I heard some articles, I heard some stories about it, and we said, that can't be true. We're going to double down and triple down on a new vision for education. We're going to talk about schools built on love. This morning, that is a reality. We're getting millions of dollars committed to go back to our classrooms, as President Bonilla said, to the social and emotional supports of our students. We're going to be designing ways to deal with mental health in a very important way. We're going to be designing ways to deal with making sure our kids have access to washers and dryers in all of our schools. We're going to get back to designing and making sure that we have food pantries in every region in our school system so that when our kids leave our classrooms, they get the services and things that they need to be successful when they come back to our classrooms. Thank you all for helping make this a reality. The last thing I'll say is that President Bonilla is right. The real work is in front of us. I said to a group of our organizers this morning, and I want to give them a shout out because without them we wouldn't be here. So for the organizers of FTA, thank you for your work. One of the things I said this morning was that systems don't change by virtue of a collective bargaining agreement. It's a document. Systems change when the people who can make things happen are committed and true to that journey. We will be true to that journey. We will make that happen. We have commitment from Superintendent Nelson and his team to redesign and reimagine and to make this system better than it's ever been. And you will see things change in this district that you've never seen before. Again, thank you for your commitment to our students, our educators, and all our professionals. Thank you for all that you do.
And now I'd like to open the podium to our trustees in attendance, starting with our board president, Genoveva Islas.
Good morning. Today is truly a historic day, and I'm very proud to stand up here with both our Fresno Unified School District colleagues as well as our Fresno Teachers Association colleagues. There are a lot of things that I would like to reemphasize that have already been said. And one is the tremendous sort of toll that this has taken on all of us. This is definitely a time of divisiveness and dissension, but I think all of that is worthy to get us where we are here today. Because, as was said, there were a lot of things that were miscommunicated that I think now we can rectify. This board did support an increase to our teachers because we value our teachers. We want to see them well compensated. We want to see them to have benefits throughout their entire service and beyond from this district. And that took agreement from this board to do that, as well as direction to our staff. So I'm very, very glad that we are here today where we can offer that. And through the input of our teachers, we've been able to get them something that they asked. So I'm very grateful that we're there. I'm also very grateful that together we will work to reduce our class sizes. I couldn't be in greater agreement that when we decrease the number of students that we have in our classrooms, our teachers have less stress, but they have more time to dedicate to the students that are in their classroom. That's vastly important, and that's something that we don't end with today. That's something we'll continue to work with over the next 3 years, the term of this contract and beyond, because we do need the infrastructure and resources to make that possible, not just during these particular negotiations, but beyond. It is something that we have to be committed to the long term, and I'm glad that we are all in agreement with moving that forward. I want to thank all the families, the parents. We heard you. We heard you when you told us that your children were experiencing stress over the proposed strike. I'm very glad that that's been averted. But if there is any residual feelings, if you would like to see counseling, please know that we have that available to you and your children and your families. We want to start off this year in the best place possible that we can now. And so I just want to extend my gratitude to FTA's leadership, to the negotiating team for all of your dedicated effort. Please know that we did hear you, and we're glad that we are now in this place of agreement. Also, just thank you to our staff on our end. We know that there were numerous hours. There was constant sort of going back to the drawing board. That couldn't have been easy, and it couldn't have been stress-free. But we're glad that you were willing to stay till the end, because this day makes it all worth it. So again, just thank you. I'm very glad we're at the point that we are now. And I want to invite up first our clerk, and a colleague who's been a really trusted voice and someone who has brought forward a lot of ideas as we were here, and that's our trustee clerk, Susan Wittrup.
Thank you, President Islas. Thank you, Superintendent Bob Nelson, the District Negotiation Team, and Fresno Teachers Association, for all your hard work. Together you crafted a contract that makes sure we're taking care of our teachers without jeopardizing the district financially in the years to come. These were indeed difficult, drawn-out negotiations that extended into late nights and weekends. Hard compromises were made by both sides. Thank you to my fellow board trustees. Every single one of you are deeply invested in students and families of Fresno Unified. Thank you for sweating every detail to get this right today. As a former Fresno Unified teacher myself, and after many years working in schools, teachers, I know how hard your job is. I know you spend your own money. I know you are deeply invested in your students' well-being and learning, and I know the pain you go through. I know you go home some nights ready to throw in the towel because the pain was too much that day, but then you come back the next morning ready to do it all over again, because you're in it for the kids. And while this contract cannot compensate completely for the heart and soul required for the job, I'm confident it will go a long way to help. Teachers, you lift up the hearts and minds of students, and this is what is needed to transform this community out of poverty. Teachers, in partnership with parents, you are the cornerstone of education in Fresno, and everything we do finds its definition from the work you do in the classroom with students. Thank you so much for that.
Sorry, go ahead. Hola, mi nombre es Claudia Cázares. I'm the trustee for the Hoover High Region. Gracias and thank you for everybody being here this morning, especially our students that are here dedicated to see what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen in the next semester, how are our teachers going to be happy when they come back into our classroom. Thank you for being here to our teachers. I want to personally thank not only Manuel Bonilla, but also Louis Jamerson and Mr. Taylor Vistam, as long as the entire FTA team, for all of their dedication and their patience with the district in hammering out an agreement that would benefit not just the teachers, but the students as well. And of course, I want to thank the administration of Fresno Unified. I do want to mention just one thing is, a couple of months ago, I had a very poignant conversation with this beautiful lady right here. And she told me, what we're asking for is not out of this world. Is what this world has told you has always not been normal. We're asking for 100% health care, and we're asking for lifetime medical. This society has told you that that is not okay. But why is that not okay? Why are we not giving our teachers lifetime medical and 100% medical? Why? So that was one of the very first times that I said, you know what, that's true. We need to figure out how to do this for our students and our teachers, and we need to figure that out fast. So I thank you. I thank you for that conversation. And I just want to say, again, thank you to everybody here. It's kind of warm, so I'll keep it short. And Mr. Levine, you're Fresno High trustee.
Thank you, Trustee Cáceres. Hello, Fresno High. I'm so glad to see so many students and staff and faculty here to celebrate this historic moment. So glad we're able to celebrate it here at Fresno High. Just want to, again, for our students and our teachers and our staff, just thank you for your grace and your patience. I know these last few weeks especially must have been very stressful and confusing around what's coming next, and so I just appreciate your understanding as we worked so hard to get this figured out. Also, I just want to say, because with negotiations, a lot of it has to happen sort of in private behind the scenes. Just want to say I saw firsthand, both from our district administration side and our teachers union side, just a clear, consistent commitment to get this figured out. And so I just thank our administration, our FTA leadership. Thank you for your consistency, your passion, your vision. This deal, I believe, is a win for our teachers, but also a win for our district and our students specifically. And so one of the things that I'm most excited about is, as you heard Louis and others sort of allude to, there's a plan in this agreement to work jointly on continuing to work out ongoing issues on an ongoing basis, starting as soon as tomorrow or next week. And so what I'm hopeful for is, if this is a 3-year contract, we don't just wait until 2.5 years from now, or almost 3 years from now, to figure this out all over again. We're going to spend the next 3 years and ongoing years to continue to reimagine and to make this district the best that it can possibly be. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Levine from the Fresno High Warrior area. I'm Valerie Davis, your trustee that represents the Sunnyside. Go Wildcats! First of all, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to be here today to see this historical event. And I want to thank God that I live in a community where their teachers put them first, our children. Today, our children win. Okay, I want to repeat that. Today, our children win. And I thank God for the many people that stood at the table hour after hour, weekend, even when they had family emergencies and losing family. I want to thank them that they kept it going. They worked hard for you. They worked hard for me. It's not over. We start from a different place today. So when you see our people sign, and the FTA, Manuel Bonilla, Louis Jamerson, Taylor, all of the executive board of FTA, they mean what they say. And I hope that I look forward to what tomorrow brings, because today our kids win, and we celebrate that. Thank you so much. Congratulations, kids.
Thank you all so much for your remarks. We're going to get to the main event here. So I'd like to have my signatories from the Fresno Unified School District and the Fresno Teachers Association join us here at our 6 chairs, and we're going to sign this tentative agreement.
That's hilarious. We don't have a team. We're starting over. Yeah. I did. There's actual paper documents. Yeah.
Pass around the iPad.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, right, right.
Prayer was not a big. I wanted to make sure it was fresh off your memory.
Last minute.
Yeah, it came out this morning.
John, please get your autograph. Me. John, please get your autograph. Can I please get your autograph, Bob?